Hello and welcome to the Arash Markazi Show, presented by the Sporting Tribune on the Mightier 1090 ESPN Radio in Southern California, 98.5 The Bet in Las Vegas, and the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760 in Hawaii. Here on a beautiful Monday, I spent the weekend in Del Mar at the racetrack. I've always wanted to go to that horse race track where the
Fancy.
surf meets the turf. It is fancy. I mean, I couldn't go to the clubhouse because I didn't have a jacket. I didn't have a suit on. I was just there to have a good time. My fiance was dressed to impress. She had a beautiful dress, like a great hat, and she could have gone wherever she wanted. I was in jeans and sneakers, so I was reduced to just sitting. But I had an amazing time. Shout out to Linda Linda Murray Hoffmans, and David Hoffman as well. Just an incredible time. But as I was at Del Mar, I was watching a lot of baseball, Brandon, and listen, I think we keep talking about the significance of a series, or the significance of this weekend, or the significance of these past few games. The Dodgers have really distanced themselves in terms of taking the lead in the National League West, and the Angels. I think with their performance, I don't, they may be in it mathematically, Brandon, but for all intents and purposes, their season is over.
Yeah, I'll start with the Angels. Yeah, their season's over effectively. At this point, I think I was talking to my dad about this. Maybe they do Shohei a service and just release him and have someone claim him off waivers.
Stop it!
They're never gonna do that. They're never gonna do that. But they should allow him to contend. It's really sad that he's giving his all and he's exhausted. You can see that. I mean, 17 for his last 42, still about 340, which is a great average, but 2 home runs over that span over 14 games when we were accustomed to seeing him hit home runs every other game, right? It was like what Matt Olson's doing right now for the Braves. But yeah, they have a lot of good players and they're just hurt. They're banged up, and it seems like everything that can go wrong does go wrong for that team. The Dodgers, it's the opposite. The regular season kings, everything that can go right in the regular season for them always goes right. And they've turned Lance Lynn. Who knew? I mean, he was the worst pitcher in the MLB, and all of a sudden he's good now. And I mean, they just keep hitting. Freddie Freeman went 0 for 4 today. It didn't matter. They still won 8-3, right? They took care of business against the Rockies, and they're now what? I think they're like 10 games over the Giants, or 8.59, like around there. So I mean, look, they're going to win 100 games, close to again. They'll have the second best record in the National League.
8.5 above, by the way, for the record for the Dodgers over the
8.5. Got it. I knew it was around between 8 and 10. I knew that.
Brandon, while you're throwing the white flag, can I just throw this out there? According to MLB.com, it says that they're 6.5 games back from the West. It says they're 6.5 games out from a wild card spot. Can we relax? You brought up it was a difficult schedule in August. Maybe September gets a little bit easier. Maybe Shohei he's going to miss his next start because of fatigue. You know what I'm saying? He does a lot. Oh, okay. Wait a minute. I'm getting information that the Angels are actually 11.5 back from. Damn, this changes my whole perspective.
From the division.
They're
6.5 out of wild card. Yeah, you're right there.
I'm looking up all the stats. It's a lot of numbers. I need my mom. I need an adult. But I'm just saying, crazier things have happened, man. And when you have greatness, who knows, man? Just who knows? I don't know why I sound like a surfer stoner dude, but we got to ride the vibe. So, hey, man.
No.
Hey, man.
Who knows?
You can try to be. You can look. I'll be honest. All Angel fans should be furious with the way how this team has performed this year. Every year they come in with a good mentality, and the organization has lost 8 straight years. They've been under 500. Now this year, I think the goal should be finish over 500. Because that is a step in the right direction. I know it's kind of sad. Like, they wanted to make the playoffs. They're going to lose Shohei Ohtani. It's increasingly likely. Now, of course, there's a chance they could re-sign him. He signed with them for a reason. If he sees a future, perhaps. But I think it's looking increasingly likely that he's going to leave. And they have a lot of question marks, Arash. They now have the 28th ranked farm, or 29th, after trading to go all in. By the way, which I thought was the right move at that time. They were only a few games back out of the wild card, like 3 or 4, when they decided to make all those moves. And it just didn't work out. Guys got hurt. Carlos Estevez, their dominant closer, had a few bad outings at the worst time. Like luck should come back their way a tiny bit, like Adrian says. Of course, that happens to all teams, but they're just not with Mike Trout still hurt. Zach Neto, their star rookie shortstop, Logan O'Hoppe, their catcher who's young. It's not looking like they're going to be back in the mix with the Blue Jays and Mariners, especially after they got swept by the Mariners last weekend.
Brandon, quick question. This is a team that did go out at the trade deadline and go all in and try to make some moves. So why are we furious, other than maybe disappointed that it hasn't worked out? Because they took a leap. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you fall, sometimes you fly.
Yeah, but I think it's not more about this season. Like their GM Perry Minasian has done an excellent job. Like hats off to him. He's done great with the resources Artie Moreno has provided to him. Like he got a ton of good players. He traded for Mickey Moniak, who's been really good. Drafted Zach Neto, the guy they just drafted in the first round, Noah Shanawal, this season, already hitting like 400 in Double A at 21. He's really good. He'll be a star probably at the level like star, probably not a superstar, but he'll be like a 280 hitter with 15 to 20 home runs, playing good first base, which is what they need. Like they've done personnel wise all the right moves. You're right, Adrian. It's just previously. Billy Epler really screwed this organization over. And it's hilarious because Billy Epler also was the one who signed Shohei Ohtani. So aside from that, which was possibly the best signing in Angels history, every other signing was absolutely atrocious. And there's still, the side effects from that. They had a terrible farm. They had awful draft picks. They signed Rendon over that time. And, the Angels have not gotten out of their way. Like Josh Ham. And look, I'm not trying to bash them. This is just straight facts. Okay. I don't want to be like Kevin Brown. Like now all of a sudden my access is limited at the games
Kevin
because
Brown
of that.
didn't do anything wrong. Poor guy.
I know. But neither am I. I'm stating facts. Josh Hamilton, right? Like didn't work out. Vernon Wells didn't work out. Anthony Rendon didn't work out.
What a name.
This is a trend, and it's like, okay, they have to start doing some self-reflecting. Like, okay, 18 guys are on the injured list. Who's our trainer? Like, what are we doing? I don't want to get someone fired, but let's be real here. You can't have 18 guys injured on a team, whether that's luck or not. Like you're doing something wrong training wise. Like no one else in the MLB has 18 players on the injured list except the Angels. And it turns out 10 of their best players are on the injured list. So Adrian, that is like the main reason why they're not doing well is because they thought these guys would be healthy and coming back, and they've had setbacks. Ben Joyce, Sam Bachman, Mike Trout, all those guys. If the team was healthy for the full season, like the Braves have been, the Angels would have 65 wins right now and would be in the third wild card. I fully believe that. But things just didn't go their way, and they haven't been for 8 years. And because of that, it cannot just be a curse. There has to be some self-reflecting here. Like, what are we doing wrong? Why are we not preparing these guys to stay healthy?
Hey, boss man, be careful about this Brandon guy you got on the beat, because he's towing a tough line. There's going to be difficult decisions being made in Anaheim. And by the way, just real quick, it's been the 5th time you've said I'm not trying to get anybody fired. At a certain point, all right? At a certain point, you're asking for someone to hit unemployment. But I'll step out now. That's all I'm saying.
As long as they're not gambling their unemployment. I had a friend who did that, and that was not good. I was like, dude, what are you doing? The IRS is going to be on you. Like, what are you doing? This guy was not a smart guy.
Listen, guys, we normally wouldn't talk about preseason football. However, I wanted to ask you both, did you watch the big, and I say big because it was sold out, the big preseason game in Las Vegas, the Raiders and the 49ers. Yo, Adrian, I got to start with you first, and I'll get to Brandon. Did you watch the game? Were you at the game?
I was not at the game. We're not going to get into those issues. Matter of fact, this weekend was very special for me because I played the tourist role in Las Vegas. There's a Stranger Things store on the Strip, and there's a reason why I'm bringing this up. There's a Netflix-run Stranger Things store. Wanted to go check it out. It was next to the Coca-Cola breast place store. I bought myself a Diet Coke pillow and a Cherry Coke pillow. Very extravagant. But the thing that fascinated me is, as I'm walking the Strip, I'm like, there's way too many 49ers fans, bro. I'm not a fan of those who buy the New Orleans necklace with the supersized team logo. I saw about 20 of those within a 2-block radius. So I was like, 49er fans are here, and it's way too hot for this. So that was, like, interesting to me. And then the game, as always, the Raiders, until they start dominating the league, are going to be made fun of for being the number one destination for fans in the league to come to a city, because there was a lot of 49ers fans there. But Las Vegas, toast the glass to Aiden O'Connell. My man was out here doing his thing, and it's a preseason victory. By the way, Josh McDaniels now, I believe, 5-0 or 6-0 in the preseason. 6-11 as head coach in the regular season as the Raiders. But take that for whatever it's worth.
Look, I have to check this stat, but there's something like if you don't score on the first possession of your first preseason game, your chances of winning a Super Bowl like significantly decrease. So San Francisco 49ers, don't put any money on after Trey Lance got sacked by a TikToker, playing defensive end. Isn't that he's a TikToker, right? Isaac, whatever his name
Hey man,
is.
you have a TikTok too. What's wrong with you? What's
I
going
was
on
gonna
with you,
say,
today,
but
man?
I don't. No, but like this, yeah, I know. Okay, yeah, I got cooked for a sec. That's right. But what I will say is Trey Lance looked abysmal, man. I've tried to stand up for this guy and say he has upside, and I know it's preseason and whatnot. The guy could not read defenses to save his life today, and these are third stringers, and he still couldn't read defenses. He didn't get out of the pocket well. He wasn't going through his reads. He was scrambling to the point where he got sacked. That's why Kyle doesn't want to play him. Or Sunday,
Yeah.
Sunday. Yeah, Sunday. I don't know. My fault. It's on
Hey,
Sunday.
Hey,
Adrian, I should have done that. But anyways, listen. Okay. Beyond the game, though, beyond the game is what we have to talk about here, because this is a big point of conversation. Listen, the tourists are paying for Allegiant Stadium. So at the end of the day, listen, if it's packed and it's packed with San Francisco 49er fans who are presumably staying at hotels and dining at the restaurants, doing all the stuff that tourists do in Las Vegas, that's a good thing for the city. However, your thoughts on if that's a bad look? Again, we've dealt with this in Los Angeles, Adrian, and with the Rams and the Chargers game. Certainly, the Chargers game is probably more so, where it's a lot of the opposing fans. But to be honest, listen, even in the Rams Super Bowl season, even in their conference championship game at SoFi Stadium, a ton of red, a ton of 49ers fans. So this is not exclusive to Vegas. However, I think more and more people are going to be talking about, where's the home field advantage for these teams? Is that a concern to you?
not at all. They start winning, people will show up. I've seen it firsthand with the Aces last year, with attendance being okay, and then as playoff time increased, and then the finals, I saw a whole city turn out for this team and continue to sell out this season with the WNBA, with Tuesday at 6 p.m., Wednesday at noon. Like, it doesn't matter what time they're selling out. We know what the Golden Knights are doing in terms of support. Obviously, everyone came to the NFL draft. Like, there's plenty of events that I could look at and show you that fans will show up if there's a good product or entertaining. These tickets for the Raiders are, I believe, I need to check TickPick again. Shout out to them. TickPick.com they're one of the most expensive, if not the most expensive, single game ticket to go to a game. So it's very difficult to justify spending that much money when you know the team isn't that good, which is kind of, this is going to be different for me this year. I stuck my head out last year, and I had faith in Josh McDaniels. I said he learned when he was the Denver Broncos head coach, and I liked Devontae Adams and some of the pickups, and I was like, this offense is stacked. They can spread the field, blah, 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 blah. And they disappointed me. And then this year, like I asked Steve Karp last week, they have the worst quarterback in the division. So what are you really telling me? All that to say is, if this team isn't that good, it doesn't make any sense, man. Things are hard out here everywhere in this country to spend all this money to go to games like that when you can watch it in a sport that's made for television.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Now, two things. First thing I'll say, I think $185 average ticket, right, for the preseason.
For the preseason, it was the most expensive preseason on average. Because again, you'll see $5 preseason tickets, because who the heck's playing in these games? But yeah, nearly $200 was one of the cheaper tickets. Yeah.
And the second thing, and that's crazy, by the way. It shows that football's king. Like, people are going to pay $185 to go see a preseason game. No one's even watching that on TV half the time, right? Because it's a preseason game, and they're going there. Second thing, Never count out Jimmy Garoppolo. I've seen it firsthand. Now this team is not that good, the Raiders, but the man is handsome, and it does wonders for the team. I'm telling you.
It really
I told you last year when McCaffrey and Jimmy Garoppolo were there, the two handsome guys back there. They went on a win streak
That
until
worked
Jimmy
out
G
great.
got hurt.
That worked out
And then
great.
Brock Purdy ended up going on a win streak because then McCaffrey kept the good looks going. No offense to Brock Purdy. He's just not in that class with McCaffrey and Jimmy Garoppolo. But I'm just saying, the Raiders,
Adrian,
He's
we're
also
talking
this guy
handsome, by the way.
wins. This guy wins. Like the point blank, you just look at him. He's just a winner at life. And
Wins
I
what?
wouldn't be surprised.
Wins what?
He's won at everything. He's won at look at his record.
How many rings
He's like
he got?
third. It doesn't matter. Look at his win and loss
It does.
record.
It does matter. Well, what do you
Are
mean?
you
It
kidding?
doesn't matter.
He was one
do you
throw
mean it
away
doesn't
from
matter?
beating. Wait. You're saying this guy isn't that
What was-
good? He's one throw. He was one throw away from beating Patrick Mahomes. One throw.
Oh,
one throw.
That sucks. That sucks. Hey, what was Luke Walton's record as the Warriors coach? Wasn't he like really fantastic? Was he really great?
So you're saying Jimmy G was only good because of Kyle Shanahan? Is your point?
No, I'm saying that regular season wins can be super inflated, and that don't mean anything when the playoffs come.
But don't you need that? This was like the argument against Dusty Baker. Like until he won a World Series last year, everyone was like, Dusty Baker's going to win you 100 games in the regular season, but he's going to choke in the playoffs. And he finally won a World Series. But like, don't you need those regular season wins to actually get to the playoffs? Like I'm just saying, Jimmy could work wonders, and all of a sudden we could be like, wow, Denver sucks again.
That's very.
I don't know. Like we don't know.
The wonders.
I'm just saying, don't count him out.
You sound like Debo Samuel right now, defending your guy Jimmy G. I could really quick, by the way, things that get me excited about preseason football. As I was looking through my timeline yesterday, like the phrase "pad level" just gets me excited. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
People, his pad level looks great. Shout out to Matt Maascio. I don't know how to pronounce his name. He works at San Francisco NBC Sports Network. He tweeted out, if the 49ers put this team out there during the regular season, they'll be 0 for 17 and regulated to the USFL.
That sounds like a Brandon tweet.
Yeah, it
That
does.
sounds like a Brandon tweet.
And then let's not forget my guy Madport on Twitter or X, who responded to an athletic reporter who covers the 49ers by saying, when will Trey Lance be held accountable? Oh, man, bro. We really got it. And I'm not saying he played good or bad. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he played very bad. But, what are we doing here, ladies and gentlemen? It's football. This
might go down as one of like the worst things ever in 49ers history. They gave up 3 first-round picks to draft Lance. And, yeah, they made up for it with Brock Purdy. But, like, that's a terrible selection. There got to be
Brandon,
accountability.
Where are you with Trey? I mean, again, you were very high on him, and you had every reason to be. And a lot of fans got his jersey, and they were very pumped up about him. I mean, again, it's a preseason game. It's just one preseason game. Where are you with Trey Lance right now?
Yeah, I'm completely out on him. I mean, there's time. He still has enormous upside, and I think there's definitely an argument if they weren't this good as a full roster, trot him out there and see what he can do, right? Because that's what Jalen Hurts needed. He won 8-9 games. Lost the wild card game the following year. He was a star, right? But Lance has the upside. It's just like he dominated in the preseason his rookie year and last year. And then now he was bad in the preseason. That's not a good sign because he was dominant in the preseason 2 years previous. It just shows he hasn't really improved, which is scary. And it's the little things. It's not, and like you could say, yes, it's preseason, blah, blah, blah. I don't care if he misses guys barely, if he's going through his reads. He wasn't even going through his reads. That scares me if I'm a Niners fan. Darnold was way better than him. Way better.
USC. There we go. Sam Darnold. Listen, also the issue with Brock Purdy is that, I think there was a lot of people who obviously hadn't seen him play. He was playing, with nothing to lose. I can't imagine Purdy having that same kind of success. So now, they had 3 quarterbacks there, but if you have 3, do you have 1? And real quick before we go to break, who is the starting quarterback week 1, Brandon, for San Francisco?
Sorry, my computer's lagging. It's about to die.
I think we lost the audio for Brandon.
I think he was trying to come up with a Jimmy G trade.
Real quick, who's the week 1? Who's going to be under center week 1? Who? Oh, man.
Here.
This is great for radio. We got you for a second.
Brandon, we're benching you until the start of the next segment. It's okay.
Yes.
Technical difficulties happen. Uh,
Listen, the beauty
Brock
of
Purdy.
this
Brock
is
Purdy.
that okay, so Brock Purdy, that's good. We do have a reporter who was at the game last night. We had a couple, and we'll have one on in the next segment, who was there in the press box at the Legion Stadium. The legend, the 3-time Hall of Famer Steve Karp, is going to joining us in segment 2 to talk about the Raiders and the 49ers preseason game and everything happening in Las Vegas sports when we come back right here on the Arash Markazi on the Mightier 1090 in Southern California, the Bet in Las Vegas, and the Hawaii Sports Radio Network.